Thursday morning, it's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world. We have lots of information out there around companies and things. I'll get you updated on all of that. Had a stall there while my computer decided to make a lot of music out there. Hey, it's one of those Thursday mornings. It was raining on my way in here to the studio. Yeah, right on the 202. Sun was out and everything. I don't know what that means for an omen for the day, but we'll give you the market watch, stocks we're paying attention to, plus local and national stories that you need to know as well. Let's get into it with that market watch. And here on this Thursday, well, it's a good day to be on the market. NASDAQ, everything is up, including the NASDAQ. The numbers are kind of conflated right now on your screen that you see there as well. But everything is going to the upside is because all around the market here today. So basically on your screen, you're seeing the markets are down. The Dow Jones is down 205 points right now. And you see it trading at 53,459. Well, I can tell you that number's wrong. It's actually trading right now at 53,468, and it's up 4 points right now for the Dow Jones. So something's happening with the service that we use to get you these stocks here. It is basically flat here, the Dow Jones here this morning. The S&P 500, well, that's a closer to where we need to be, plus 8% up, or 0.8 up right now. 8 points up right now. 77.01. That one's accurate. The NASDAQ is up 252 points today. A lot of reasons why. NVIDIA reported yesterday. We're going to look at them. I'll just tell you, they're lifting the chip stocks up today with their reporting yesterday. The Russell 2K, well, that is showing down 11 points on your screen right now at 3,002. It's actually up 3 points today to 3,009. So there's some sort of issue with the service we use to give you this, but what I told you is more accurate out there. Bitcoin, well, it's up here as well today, 79,619, pushing that 80,000 level here today as well for Bitcoin out there. Stocks we're paying attention to in this first part of the program. First one we're going to look at is NVIDIA out there. You know them. They're becoming an artificial intelligence company. But obviously chip maker and things to that effect. NVIDIA, or at least infrastructure company with their chips, 6.49% up here today after they reported their earnings yesterday. They beat expectations. Not a surprise that they beat it on both lines in their second quarter. They actually reported that revenue, well, more than doubled is what they reported yesterday. NVIDIA earned $2.22 per share. The expectation was $2.10 per share. They also came in at $96.22 billion in revenue. Well, the expectation was only $92.17 billion in revenue for NVIDIA. They expect revenue to rise to $108 billion in the third quarter, which is also higher than the expectation level. And don't forget, they're putting through a 15% price increase to their biggest customers. So those numbers are just getting better and better for NVIDIA. That's causing all the chip makers to rise here today based off of that reporting from NVIDIA yesterday. So we knew they were going to hit the numbers. That was expectation. The question was, how much were they going to beat them by, and would the investment community be happy with it? I think the answer here is today, this morning on Thursday, yes. The answer is yes. HP is who we're going to look at next year. The PC maker. Well, the opposite's happening for them. 6.42% down right now, even though they did beat fiscal third quarter results and the expectation levels as well. So why are they down? Well, its full year earnings guidance was also above expectations, but yet HP is down 6.39% here today. Again, why are they down? Well, just a sell-off occurring with them, even though they hit their numbers and future guidance above expectations. Then we're going to look at the software company called Salesforce out there. Now, these software companies, Workday, Salesforce, these types of companies, they've been up the last couple of days, and Salesforce is up 18.09% today as well. They reported second quarter results that beat the analyst expectations. Adjusted earnings of $5.90 per share. Well, that was better than the $3.27 per share that was expected of Salesforce. They blew away their earnings per share as well yesterday when they announced that. That's why they're up to 18.53% here today as well. Later on, when we come back and look at these stocks and specific stocks, Wendy's is in the news today. Dollar General and then Okta is making some waves and all over him. That's kind of the other stock besides NVIDIA that everybody's paying attention to today. Okta out there as well. So we'll take a look at those coming up. But first, the number of people filing for U.S. unemployment. Well, the numbers are basically where they've been over the last, at least the 2026 year frame. But the people that did apply for them did fall again last week, which means we're still at those historic lows. Layoffs are rare, as you know, and hiring's rare as well in this economy thing. So lots of job security for you out there if you have a job. Jobless claims did go down to 203,000 last week. It was at a revised 207,000 the previous week. But don't forget, we get all this reporting from the Labor Department, and it came out this morning. The 4-week average of claims, which, takes out the volatility of the week to week out there, it actually went up slightly. 205,500 is where that level went. The U.S. unemployment rate is low. It's still at that 4.1%. A lot of reasons, right? Immigration crackdown, ongoing retirement of baby boomers happening at record levels right now as well. Well, that means fewer people are competing for the jobs that are open out there as well. More than 1.3 million people have dropped out of the U.S. labor force over the past year. Yeah. Now, what we're waiting for after this reporting, well, this week's reporting on the unemployment side, the Labor Department's going to put out the August jobs report next week. Now, what's the expectation for it? It's expected to show employers added another 65,000 jobs. That's kind of what the expectation is next week. So we'll have to see with that unemployment rate and at 4.1% and jobless claims it's been all year long in that 230,000 level all year long, and we haven't strayed from it at all from that perspective. So here's the other side of it, right? Yesterday we told you Meta settled for, was that about $18 billion with those total of 49 states in the complaint being led by California's AG. But now a couple of those AGs that were in this lawsuit are saying other social media and those technology companies, well, they need to be, quote, paying very close attention to Meta's settlement yesterday out there as well. Now, specifically, Tennessee's Attorney General, his name is Jonathan Skrmetti. He came out and was making some comments to Fox Business yesterday about this. If you remember, we told you yesterday, Meta announced that it had reached that agreement with those 52 attorneys generals across states, U.S. territories, and even Washington, D.C. That's how you got to 52. That's that $18 billion payment, overhaul teen experiences on their programs like Facebook and Instagram. Now we're waiting for court approval of the settlement, but if it is approved by the court, it resolves claims filed by the 47 states. The agreement requires time limits, nighttime restrictions, stronger age checks, but more importantly, expanded parental controls for users under 18 is what Meta's agreed to. Now, the Tennessee Attorney General went on to say the changes to the platforms for Meta, well, they're ultimately more important than the actual $18 billion financial penalties side of it. By the way, more details on that payment. Meta said the payments will be distributed annually over 10 years. Participating states will receive about $12.7 billion. And then $5.3 billion, well, it will be released only if TikTok and YouTube implement specified child safety measures and make matching payments as well. So some of that settlement is Meta saying, well, we'll agree to this, but you have to get our competition to do it as well. Interesting little nugget here in this deal. The settlement between Meta and the states, it should serve as a warning, according to the Tennessee AG, to the other parts of the technology industry out there, because they're coming for you next, is what he's basically saying, right? TikTok, YouTube are next in the sites. And they mentioned them specifically. Some of these AGs did as well. So just a little warning and shot across the bow here from these attorney generals in the states that settled this Meta lawsuit. Hey, SpaceX is continuing to grow, right? Even though their stock necessarily isn't. Well, they announced this week, SpaceX did, they're going to build its largest rocket launch site. Now they're going to do that in southern Louisiana. So they're going to invest $100 billion into a complex that could ultimately support thousands of Starship flights each year. So it's going to be a 125,000 acre site. It's going to be in Pecan Island there in Vermilion Parish. They're going to call it Starbase Louisiana. What an original name. It's going to be SpaceX's fourth U.S. launch location. Its second Starbase campus as well. The other one is down in southern Texas. Now, construction slated to begin in 2027. The first Starship launch is going to be planned for 2029, according to the announcement by SpaceX out there. They say this campus is going to create more than 3,000 jobs to build it. Ultimately, it could go up to 10,000 jobs in that southern Louisiana area. The complex would include launch pads, vehicle processing facilities, but even go as far as systems to produce methane fuel and even generate power there at that campus. SpaceX is considering an airport and deep water shipping capabilities to transport starships from Texas to Louisiana. Now, Pecan Island, interesting enough, is a protected habitat for dozens of migratory bird species. Right, and there was a big lawsuit with ExxonMobil that Louisiana had that they kind of ruined some of those wet areas and things to that, and they settled that with ExxonMobil. That kind of opened the way for SpaceX to come in and build this campus there. Well, SpaceX president, there's a lot of concern, obviously, over those wetlands and how protected and things they are. Well, SpaceX president did come out and say SpaceX would help fund environmental protection efforts of those wetlands with the campus going in that area as well. So SpaceX continuing its monumental growth with those launch pads and those campuses that they are building out there. Just a quick little thing, an update for you here. And we know all these states have been suing Kalshi in these prediction markets. Well, the latest one to get in on there is Connecticut. They have officially sued Kalshi today to block alleged unlicensed sports gambling that Kalshi is performing on their site. So another state trying to overrule the federal government's regulation of these prediction market companies like Kalshi specifically here. So Connecticut back in to that side as well. And some of you fly all the time. I know a couple people reached out saying they love watching this show while they're flying during the beginning of the week and back home at the end of the week for their jobs and everything. And some of you like to travel, for fun and things to that effect. So what's the proper flight etiquette out there, I guess, is the bigger question. Everybody's got different etiquette and things to that effect. Well, there's some agreement, by the way, on who's to blame for bad behavior in the air. Yeah. You basically blame other travelers. We have a new survey out saying the other travelers are the problem with traveling. Yeah. So the biggest friction of being in an airplane, passengers using cell phones, laptops, those personal technology devices, either to make phone or video calls or even to watch television shows or movies, specifically without your headphones. Yeah. This is a survey of 2,500 U.S. adults by travel site The Points Guy, which they call TPG, and even YouGov. This survey of 2,500 people came out that the most annoyance is no headphones, folks. According to the survey, 40% of passengers think airlines should ban phones and video calls aboard an aircraft. And that's going to start becoming a thing again because of Starlink on aircrafts. They're going to be allowing the audio calls and FaceTime and things to those effect. Now, 27% cite such noise as the most annoying passenger behavior that you could possibly do. That's shoes off, that's shoes up on the wall, that's your seat back, all of that noise from your device. People don't want to hear it. Airlines are well aware that customers are sensitive to noise coming from their neighbors' devices. If you remember earlier this year, with February-March timeframe, United Airlines said that they amended their policies to require all passengers wear headphones when listening to audio. And they went so far as to say, by the way, that includes scrolling just social media feeds, right? Anything with audio. They got specific in their amendment of their policies. But they also said in that policy they reserve the right to boot passengers who don't follow the policy. They can even ban you from flying, put you on that no-fly list as well if you continue to kind of mock that policy by United. So, what is the biggest debate that you have out there in terms of flying, or the one you've heard over the years? Yeah, are you allowed to recline your seat or not? Well, a majority, 51% of adults in this survey said it's okay to recline your seat. Yeah, only 10% of respondents said it's never acceptable to recline in flight. By the way, that has gotten better over the years. Before it was a majority of people said don't recline your seat. And it's kind of moving a little bit, or your seat. It's kind of moving a little bit. Now, the other argument is armrest, right? Only 11% in this survey said middle seat passengers may automatically claim both armrests. Kind of the thought process is if you're in the middle seat, you're more cramped, you get both armrests. Only 11% said that's an acceptable demeanor. Yeah, the window and aisle people being a little selfish, if I my opinion. The U.S. Department of Transportation launched a campaign last year to encourage Americans to dress more respectfully on flights. Right, that's another concern. The way people dress, pajamas, casual wear to get on the flights to be comfortable out there. And my argument is if the airlines keep kind of shrinking their planes and making it uncomfortable to fly, people are going to continue to get more comfortable when they fly. But in this survey, more than 7 in 10 respondents to the survey, they said the most appropriate attire is, quote, whatever is comfortable, unquote. So most majority people say just wear whatever's comfortable. That includes athletic wear. That includes lounge wear as well. Here's the thing, though. Only 9% of the respondents said passengers should don more professional attire. Yeah. My opinion is the airlines are squashing you. It's not a privilege to fly anymore. They're squeezing your seat sites. You have no room in there. The rules and regulations are charging you more and more and more to fly. Yeah, so be casual. Be as comfortable as you need to be to sink into those seats out there as well. 9% disagree with me on that, though, with saying you should be professional. But then here's the other side of it. How comfortable should you get? Yeah. 1% of the respondents thought pajamas were acceptable on airplanes. So be casual, but don't go pajamas comfortable, according to a lot of people out there and, looking at the in this survey here as well. So hey, be casual, be comfortable. Don't go pajama comfortable. Yeah. And it's official, folks. Olivia Rodrigo fans, get ready. Buckle up. She's getting her very own Baja Blast over at Taco Bell. Yeah, Taco Bell's partnering with Rodrigo to bring You Seem Pretty Pink for a Baja Blast. Yeah, a pretty pink take on the iconic drink. And it's coming to life, by the way. It's officially coming your way. It's set to roll out at Taco Bell restaurants nationwide September 24th. It's a limited edition drink. It blends the signature, right, what they make now, tropical lime taste of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And then they're going to have the refreshing flavor of pink lemonade added to it. What they say that's going to do is create a vibrant pink twist inspired by her new musical era. That's right, folks. All in conjunction with her music tour. So according to Taco Bell, the collaboration extends beyond just the beverage at Taco Bell. It's a playful name inspired by Rodrigo's new album. That's the You Seem Pretty Sad for Girl So in Love album that's coming out. It might already be out, but I know if it's coming out any time now. It is out, I'm being told. Leave it to Ethan to know that answer. The custom packaging designed to capture her unmistakable aesthetic. You Seem Pretty Pink for a Baja Blast debuts exclusively at the Taco Bell Live Más Cafes on August 29th. That's the same day Rodrigo's all-women music festival, which is called the Daisy Chain Fields. Well, that's going to kick off over in Irvine, California. If you go to the concert, folks, limited edition merchandise, immersive fan experiences, and even a first-of-its-kind activation for You Seem Pretty Pink for Baja Blast will be available at the festival as well. So you don't even have to go to Taco Bell if you're going to her concerts to get that drink out there. And I know huge followership for her. I know a lot of people are going to be excited about that. And don't believe me, that's not the only food story we got for you today, folks. When we come back here at McCollum on Business, we keep the show rolling. Woo! We found out what's annoying on plane flights today. Well, let's get into some local stuff as well that you might find annoying. Come on back, folks. McCollum on Business, Thursday edition. And we're back here, McCollum on Business here on this Thursday. Appreciate you all joining us live here on YouTube as well. And 7 a.m. is where you can catch us as long as markets are open. As soon as we're done here, well, we get the show up on demand on YouTube and over on Rumble for those of you that prefer Rumble out there. And of course, we move into the main event as well, 8 to 10 a.m. Dale Hillestray's off again today. He's over in Las Vegas dealing with some NFL things with the Raiders, where he was on that team for a year or so before he went to the Cowboys, injured reserve list. But he's there for a reunion, and he'll be back next week. But I got you started for the first hour. Uncle Lou comes in at 9 o'clock. We talk, of course, NFL, getting ready for the season. Last preseason weekend here coming up. Last preseason starts tonight on Thursday. Games on Friday night, a couple on Saturday. Then we got some time off here coming up until the opening of the season. So we'll get some more thoughts of the preseason and looking ahead from Uncle Lou also coming our way. And then, after that, we got the pit stop coming out for you today as well. Later on by 2 p.m. today, it'll be up on YouTube as well as over on Rumble. We got Daytona this weekend. The chase needs to be set this weekend in the Cup Series and the O'Reilly Series. Of course, IndyCar, well, it's back to an oval here in Milwaukee this weekend. Kind of an old school Milwaukee oval. It's going to be a fun little race there as well, as they're trying to name their champion. Some question marks going into this weekend's race there. Pit stop coming up later today for you as well. Just check that out on demand or follow, of course, the Pit Stop Talk on X, and you'll be notified when those new shows are available for you out there as well. We have the 2027 NASCAR schedule officially out as of yesterday as well. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, The Real Matrix, the only show not on YouTube that we do. That's over on Rumble exclusively, folks. And catch it rumble.com/user/TME Media, or just go to Rumble and type in The Real Matrix, Angry Patriot. It does pop up for you now. New episode on Friday, noon, coming up for you. So one more day until that new episode comes out. Of course, all of our programming except for this one, well, it's on your favorite podcast system. Apple, Google, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, anywhere you catch your podcast, you'll catch our programming. So just search the show name, right? The Real Matrix, Angry Patriot, the Pit Stop with Steven, or the Pit Stop Talk, right? The main event with Steven, the main event with Dale, and I'll find that out there. This show, though, McCollum on Business, no podcast version of it right now. And every show except for this one and the Real Matrix does have social media. Just search the name, the Pit Stop Talk, the TME Sports Show for the main event as well. So check us out on social media, and don't forget to follow TME Media AZ on X as well. It's just our parent company, and kind of tells you what we're doing out there in the world, and what we produce, how we work, and also how we'd like to work with you as well out there. So Let's get right back into it and finish this Thursday show up strong with the Market Watch. And let's see if it's updated at all. It has not for some reason, and I apologize for this, folks. Not our problem. I'll just tell you, the service we use to get you this information seemed to be a little off today. Dow Jones is actually up right now, 23 points, barely up, but it is up. It's trading at the 53,487. So the total percentages are what seem to be off here on our service. As well, the S&P 500 is up 37 points right now to 77.13. At least that's a little bit, and it's showing a positive for that. The NASDAQ is up 308 points right now, 26,438. The Russell 2K, well, it's actually down about 3 points today, trading at 3,002. So something's going on with our service. We apologize. The Bitcoin number is correct, though. It is pushing 80,000 today, 79,828. What it's trading at for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency here this week. And it's been a week of cryptocurrencies being up here finally after last week's run up as well from that side. Kansas City Fed, that gentleman, he says inflation is stubborn, not sticky out there. So we're starting to see that wording from the Fed as well as they're in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a symposium, no official meeting this month as well. And the U.S.'s reports are the U.S. is considering fresh round of tariffs on semiconductors. That report's out there as well. And obviously, NVIDIA is kind of the big story today. And a company stock named Okta, which we'll get to in just a moment. But first, I want to look at Wendy's stock here in this segment. You know, the burger chain, they're struggling out there and closing a bunch of restaurants. They're doing that $1.99 nuggets, 10-piece nuggets. We tried that yesterday and got that. You got to go through the app when you order, and they scan it, and they give you the discounts out there. $1.99, 10-piece nuggets with another purchase. Well, Wendy's is down 12.39% right now as well. Reuters has come out and reported that a company called Trian Fund Management, well, it says they do not plan to drop by Wendy's. The rumors before was that they were trying to look into buying them. The reason why? Concerns about the company's strategic direction. Yeah, private equity, at least this private equity company is refusing to buy Wendy's because of their strategic directions. So this company, Trian Fund Management, was previously planning a bid to take the company private earlier this month. They backed out of it now. Wendy's down 12.39% as of right now on that news. And then you got Dollar General out there as well. They raised their full earnings guidance, and they're up 7.01% today based off of that news. Dollar General sees profit between $7.80 and $8 per share. Well, before they had it ranged in the area of $7.20 and $7.45 per share. Big upgrade here in full year's earning guidance. Probably why they're up 7.11% here today. Dollar General also said that it intends to repurchase shares under its existing share repurchase program in the second half of the fiscal year, ending January 29th of 2027. So share buyback coming for Dollar General as well. So here, it just dipped down below 7%, but their future guidance is a big upgrade for Dollar General. And then that company, the other company besides NVIDIA that everybody's looking at today, that would be Okta out there. Their second quarter results exceeded analysts' expectations. They did this reporting yesterday. 23.37% up on the market today as well. Okta reported adjusted earnings of $1.05 per share. That's above the 97 cents per share that they were expecting out there. $805 million is what they came in revenue for the quarter. The expectation was only $795 million in revenue. They also raised its earnings and revenue guidance for the full year. That's why Okta is being watched today. 23.12% up for Okta out there as well. And let's get into some local stories here as well that you need to know. Interesting enough, yesterday, Tempe became the latest city to not just take down their flock cameras or stop using them, cancel the flock contract altogether as well. City of Tempe came out in a social media post and announced this as well. They said that they turned off its flock license plate reader cameras and they are ending. They didn't say, we'll talk to the company. They said we are ending our contract with them. They also said they're not going to look at any other companies to replace the flock systems. So they went on to say in their social media posts, because this is kind of the narrative around the flocks. These cameras have helped our police officers do their jobs, and we don't discount that. But the risk of misuse is too great. We have to be able to provide public safety in a way that maintains the trust of our community. For Tempe, that means taking our cameras down. Mesa, Phoenix are ones that aren't taking them down. Queen Creek's keeping them as well, I believe, or Santan Valley. But several cities are taking them down because of misuse things. My issue with the flock cameras is simply this. They assume we're all guilty of something because they're surveilling us constantly. Yeah, they find the bad guys a little bit easier and things to that, but 99% of us are being followed in everything, and we're not being chronicled or followed out there. Tempe's kind of on that bandwagon side of things as well. Now, Tempe did say that residents may continue to see the cameras around the city because Flock has to come out and remove those cameras as well. So the city stressed that no new data is being collected as of yesterday. By the way, 33 flock cameras there in Tempe as well. So another city getting out of the surveilling business here as well, and around this thing. And Fox seeing a lot of this happen, and they made some changes. We talked about them. I think it was on last week, one of the shows, about the changes they're making to make it safer. And like I said, when the police are misusing it to follow girlfriends, boyfriends, family members, potential people they're stalking, it's not a good sign. It needs to go away if we can't trust the police not to misuse the systems on top of it as well. So we know that for a while the talk was on pushing small nuclear devices out there. The Trump administration's been on big on that, specifically to power data centers out there. Well, we found out that Arizona utility companies, they are exploring sites for those new nuclear developments here in the state. And, all because of the data center. Keep in mind, data centers are driving these kinds of changes and stuff like that. The Trump administration has pushed incentives to develop reactors and build more sites here in the United States, and then also focus on the small nuclear reactors instead of just the big ones like we have out there with the Palo Verde nuclear plant as well. They call those small ones SMRs, if you hear that term while you're listening and driving around or hearing these types of stories. The SMRs are being built as cheaper, faster to produce than a big nuclear facility. They could generate between 50 and 350 megawatts. Traditional reactors, they do 550 to 1,500 megawatts of production in that range as well. But the problem is the technology is unproven out there here in the United States. So Salt River Project, they said only one design has been approved to even be used here in the United States. Yeah, so it's unproven. Only one design out there. Is that even the best design? Is it feasible to make and put in as well that they're doing it? So the Arizona utilities say they are considering or exploring options to use SMRs, but they obviously are waiting for more development to come out, more options, more history on them, and that's happening overseas and in other countries because instead of here in the United States as well. So just give you an update on the nuclear power side that we've talked about at length here about 6 or 7 months ago with data center powering and things to that effect out there. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about small ones, because smaller ones can be put like if the data, like the metadata center out of Mesa. If they're approved to do small nuclear reactors, what does that mean for those of us that live in that area? Radiation, is there meltdown possibilities, etc. out there? Is kind of the question you've got to deal with. And speaking of data centers, Pinal County has rejected a very large data center. Residents actually came out and said they want rules for future projects and in order for them to go into place and everything. So the Pinal County supervisors came out last night in a meeting, I should say. They rejected plans to build that La Osa Energy Center. We've told you about that here at McCollum on Business. Huge development outside of Eloy is where that was going to go in. They've already scaled it back in monumental fashions. And it's now rejected completely as well. So it was going to be the largest data center in the United States, or I'm sorry, in Arizona at least, and one of the largest in the United States out there. So the 11 data center buildings was the plan. So a 500 megawatt natural gas plant and battery energy storage systems that would serve 1 gigawatt of total energy demands. Basically, this place would be able to supply energy demands of a large city if it was able to go through as well. So, big rejection here by the Pinal County Board of Supervisors. The developers proposed, as I told you, a big reduction, 80% reduction in the original scale of the project. They did self impose water limits and water use on the project as well to try to get this to pass. They even did a commitment to shoulder all energy costs and not go on the grids of Eloy and other cities out there. So even with that 80% reduction, Pinal County said, nope, we're not interested in building this out there as well. So, and then the residents that spoke up on this, they said we need rules and regulations in place so we don't have to, continue to fight these battles and show up to this. We should have rules. These are the guidelines that to build a data center. So the residents down there in Pinal County speaking up here as well last night in that meeting. And then, folks, you might get to see some differences here with cereals, specifically Lucky Charms and Tricks. That's right. Yeah, the bright colors might be going away because General Mills is doing what a lot of people are doing, ditching the artificial colors out there as well. Fruit and vegetable based dyes, and then colors derived from spices, things like paprika, turmeric, and everything. Well, they're going more to that as opposed to the artificial dyes that are unhealthy for you to get those bright colors out there. So on Wednesday, they said they removed artificial colors from all of its U.S. cereals. They've removed them now. So they said, as I said, so it's going to mute some of the colors, and a couple of colors are going to be completely non existent, at least for a little bit out there. So General Mills said 90% of its U.S. retail products are now free of artificial dyes. Now, they do contain artificial colors. Some of them do, like the cake mixes from Betty Crocker. Fruit roll-ups still have artificial dyes in them for those artificial colors. But they say they will transition to natural dyes, the ones remaining, by 2027. So don't be buying fruit roll-ups thinking that they're natural. They are not yet. That's still coming up here as well. So obviously General Mills, they're second to this thing here. Kellogg announced it with Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks and all their cereals about a month ago or so. We told you about that here at McCollum on Business as well. So, the artificial dyes long been called to get out of cereals and foods in general. Of course, President Trump's administration with Robert Kennedy kind of pushing for that as well. And these companies are starting to move that way. Now, interesting enough, I looked at the history of this. General Mills did remove artificial dyes from Trix back in 2015. Yeah. They brought it back, though, just, about a year or so later? And they said that, customers missed the bright colors. They weren't buying it because they weren't the bright colors. That is an interesting dynamic. Look, they make those colors bright because they catch your eyes and you like them. Taking them out, people doesn't want to eat those cereals. It's kind of an interesting dynamic here. Now, 2015 in terms of health was completely different than 2026 in terms of health out there as well. And I don't care. I don't care if the colors are bright or not. Just got to taste the same as my biggest side of it there as well. And don't forget, like more pressure besides just the government pressure and the consumer pressure. Even some retailers like Target, they said they would stop selling cereals that contain artificial colors by the end of May. Walmart, now they said they'll remove artificial colors from its store brands by January 2027. So you're getting the pressure from the retailers as well to remove these artificial dyes, besides the public and government side of it as well there. So, and then finally, we're going to leave you here with a little treat for you. And this one I can kind of get behind, as long as they're not the zebra um, things. I'm not a big fan of those, but Little Debbie Snacks making some changes here coming up. They're giving you another option. chocolate bars. Yeah. So Little Debbie has teamed up with Los Angeles chocolatier Compartes. Yeah, they have those most popular snacks to life. They're bringing them out as gourmet chocolate bars. They're going to be $12 each, folks. They're available online at Comparte's website. A limited time process here as well. So this news release, USA Today gives us this story. The collaboration blends Little Debbie's iconic childhood treats with Comparte's luxurious chocolate craftsmanship. Yeah. So what are you getting? Little Debbie's Cosmic Brownies chocolate bar. First of all, Little Debbie's Cosmic Brownies are to die for. They are. Fudgy brownie pieces of playful sprinkle crunch run through rich dark chocolate for a soft, sweet bite with a little crackle. Little Debbie's Honey Buns chocolate bar will give us warm honey bun flavor and golden glazed sweetness, which are swirled through creamy white chocolate for a nostalgic treat and feels instantly familiar. And then the third one is the Little Debbie Oatmeal Cream Pies chocolate bars, available as well on their website. Gentle oat and spice and cream filling are folded in a creamy milk chocolate for a warm, nostalgic bite. Yeah, you have to go to the Comparte's website in order to try these new samples out there as well. $12, by the way, for the package. Yeah. Don't forget also, Little Debbie's unveiled its 2026 fall snack lineup back then as well. They announced pumpkin spice mini muffins are back. Pumpkin Delights and Pumpkin Spice Oatmeal Cream Pies are back as well in their linings there as well. So Little Debbie keeping it rolling with some delicious things and a collaboration here. So instead of just the brownies, now you get a chocolate bar infused in it as well. And that sounds yummy, folks. That one does sound good. I'm going to have to log in. I might have to throw away $12 for some chocolatey brownie goodness out there for those cosmic brownies. Hey, I appreciate you joining me here from McCollum on Business here on this Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. on Friday. Come and join me, would you? Coming up at 8 o'clock, it's me. I'll get you going for the first hour. Lots to talk about. Cardinals in Green Bay, Diamondbacks end up winning the series against the Cubs yesterday. Lots to talk about, including this. I don't understand the controversy of this balk. The refs may have missed the call. Everybody's losing their mind. I'll fill you in on that. It does kind of crack me up how all of a sudden, there's one thing about balks that I know. Nobody knows what a balk is. And it proved it yesterday out there with all the people claiming to know what they are. Yeah, we'll get into that. It's going to be fun, folks. We'll bring some light to it. And, of course, Uncle Lou coming up at 9 o'clock. Live on YouTube coming up. TME Media AZ. Don't forget to give us a follow, like, and subscribe, folks. We'll see you then. Have a great afternoon. Thursday night. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone.